Nintendo recently invited us to a digital preview event showing us over 30 minutes of Pokémon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. We were given a better look at the Grand Underground, Super Contests, and so much more. So, we decided to put together a list of new details we learned. So without further ado, here's 6 details we learned from our Pokémon preview event. We learned from a recent trailer that Poffins, the tasty treats you can cook for your Pokémon, are back. A fun feature in the original games was to connect with up to 4 other players to work together to cook the perfect Poffins. Well, this time around, Poffins are a single-player only experience. The minigame has been refined and updated though, now allowing you to put up to 4 berries in your treat. So, functionally, the same effect is there, but I'll miss grouping up for a team cooking session. Another change from the original games is the EXP share. Rather than being an item given to one singular Pokémon, it functions identically to the more recent entries, giving EXP to the entire party. Of course, the Pokémon that actually participates in battle will receive more EXP. Just like in the other recent Pokémon titles, this can be turned off as well. The PC system has also been updated to work like recent entries in the main Pokémon series, much like the EXP share. Now, you can access PC boxes from anywhere when viewing the Pokémon menu with the simple press of a button. Swapping out your party with Pokémon stored in the PC continues to be incredibly quick and accessible, and this is a really great quality of life update that I've really enjoyed from recent games, and it's great to have it here too. One of the recent trailers put a big spotlight on Amity Square, where you can walk with up to a full party of Pokémon following behind you. We actually learned a few details about Amity Square during this preview event. Firstly, there is no actual photo mode here. You simply get some camera tilts and movements exclusive to this location. Secondly, only cute Pokémon are allowed here. Now, this isn't a subjective term left open up to the player and what Pokémon they find to be cute. Amity Square outright restricts certain Pokémon from entering if they aren't classified as cute. Perhaps increasing a Pokémon's cuteness with Poffins could help, but when we asked about this restriction in the park, we were told that the entrance desk can provide a list of acceptable Pokémon. It's a shame, really, and we probably won't get to walk around the park with Palkia or Dialga, unless these deities are deemed cute rather than fearsome. The contests were a pretty big part of the original Diamond and Pearl games, and it's clear that's going to be the case here as well. That being said, there's quite a few changes being made to the way it works this time around. Originally, contests were divided into 3 phases between dressing your Pokémon up, a follow-the-leader style rhythm game, and using moves to impress the judges. They were a bit slow back then too. But now, contests are much faster. It's basically just a rhythm game now. You don't dress up your Pokémon, and you pick one specific move to use during the contest, which can win extra points with the judges if used at a good time. The whole thing takes a couple of minutes at most, making for a much more fast-paced experience. While there's definitely some concern of contests feeling watered down and too quick, it does still look pretty fun. You can even choose the outfit your trainer will enter with. Finally, we were shown more about the Grand Underground running through the Sinnoh region. Like we saw in a recent trailer, you can decorate your secret bases with different Pokémon statues, which you can obtain from the mining minigame or some merchants you'll find around. By placing these statues, you can affect the crystal ball near the door, with its color indicating a boost to specific types of Pokémon appearing in the underground hideaways. Beyond that, you can also visit your friends' secret bases, but unfortunately, the Capture the Flag minigame from the originals is no longer here. More than likely, this means that decorating the secret bases won't go much further beyond placing these statues. And with that, those are 6 details we learned about Pokémon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl from our preview event. But beyond those 6 details, I'd like to take a few minutes to give some general impressions on what we've seen of the games. So in case it wasn't obvious, totally unscripted Tris here for this little segment. There's a couple points that I wanted to bring up in regards to, well, basically each of these details, but I didn't want to have in those details, I wanted those to be more informative rather than more opinion-based. So regarding the Poffins, I am actually a little disappointed that they're single-player only now, instead of the multiplayer features that they had in the original games. Sure, it technically is removing a connectivity feature that they had before, which technically takes away from the game in this remake, but functionally it is the same, so I don't imagine it's losing that much. And I actually wonder if this change was brought about due to maybe maybe Nintendo was able to see, or the Pokemon Company was able to see that not many people were using multiplayer to make Poffins, so maybe they figured it just wasn't worth doing in the first place. Moving on to EXP share, because I know this is, for some reason, always a very hot topic in the Pokemon community. EXP share is fine, guys. Sure, you're doing it for the whole team instead of one specific Pokemon, but arguably the purpose behind experience share, this helps it a lot. It makes it feel a lot less grindy, and also the EXP share can be turned off. So I actually think this is a good accessibility feature and general quality of life improvement to have here in this. It would have been weird, to be honest, if they took this out, since this has been kind of a staple feature in the more recent games. Same thing can be said about accessing the PC from anywhere. As I bring up in our preview discussion, I do a lot of shiny hunting, and I'm someone that tends to get a lot of like Pokemon eggs, and running around with them, and running around with the Pokemon eggs and trying to get them all hatched, and oops, not a shiny, gotta dump all of them in the PC and then go pick up some more eggs. And sure, there's usually a PC at the Pokemon nursery or daycare or whatever you want to call it, but it's a really nice accessibility feature to be able to access the PC from wherever, honestly. Can't really complain about the fact that they let you do that. I think it's a really nice feature to have, and I'm glad it seems like it's going to become part of the norm, because it just makes Pokemon more accessible to all the new players that are coming in. Sure, maybe I'll miss the old days of always having to go back to the Pokemon Center, boot up the PC, hit move Pokemon. And then moving into what was our fourth point about Amity Square with cute Pokemon. I said my piece on the blatant rudeness towards Pokemon by only classifying some of them as cute in our discussion. But I'm a little disappointed there's no actual photo mode in Amity Square. Like, the trailer even showed that you can move the camera around and you can get nice views with your Pokemon. But sure, it's just to use the capture feature on the Switch, but there's no, like, special things you can do with it. You can't strike nice poses or access a full-on photo mode like some other games have been doing more lately. You just adjust the camera angle and, I guess, hope for a good pose in the idle between your Pokemon and you as the trainer. I'm not, like, terribly upset about that. I feel strongly about having photo modes in games, and I think it would be really nice to have either an overworld one or like an in-battle kind of view where you have the full trainer setup and not just the overworld look. I think it would have been really nice personally. But, Amity Square restricting with cute Pokemon only, fine. Maybe fine. You're just saving me the fact that I can't go take nice pictures with Palkia and Dialga or something. I don't know. But a big point that was brought up for number 5 for us, the Super Contests, those are really different. And that's actually what I'm most curious about right now. Because they function so differently now, will they still be just as fun? I think they still look fun, but, I mean, I even brought up the point of the concern of them feeling watered down and being too quick. I think they'll still be fun, but I don't know if they'll have the longevity in terms of people constantly coming back to them to the same degree as they did before. And I think it would be a little disappointing if they're not received as well as they were originally, so I can only hope. Finally, to the last real point I kind of wanted to bring up with the Grand Underground, man am I disappointing that the Capture the Flag minigame is gone. I loved the Capture the Flag minigame. I played a lot of Diamond and Pearl and Platinum back in the day, and the Capture the Flag minigame was something I did a lot with some friends. This is a silly little thing, but it kind of tells a lot for the kind of customization you can do in your secret base, I think. But that's basically it. I kind of want to just give a few impressions here and there. But if you'd like to hear more of our thoughts in a much more organized manner, then you can check out our preview discussion. These are shaping up to be mostly faithful remakes of the games, but the changes we've been learning about are certainly interesting. We've only got about a month until the game's release, and I can't wait to once again venture into the Sinnoh region soon. But what do you guys think? Let us know your thoughts down below, and subscribe to GameXplain for plenty more on Pokemon. Check out the videos on the right for more content you might be interested in. Until next time, farewell.